parliamentarians and MPs, we hold this general session, a joint one with the two chambers of the parliament pursuant to the last resolution of the United Nations concerning the Moroccan issue or the national issue. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, MPs, ladies and gentlemen. We are gathering in this joint session of the two chambers of the parliament in order to deal with the national issue, that of territorial integrity of the kingdom within the framework of a national mobilization under the headline of more alignment and coalition under the aegis and high orientations of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, who is orienting with a strategic vision this issue, which gave birth to this turning point and historic one in our southern provinces in the 31st October 2025 by the adoption of the Security Council of the Resolution 2797 concerning the Moroccan Sahara. And at the outset, we would like to renew to His Majesty on this occasion our highest links of allegiance and token of allegiance that is directing, His Majesty was directing the nation towards growth and to this milestone in terms of acquisitions in our issue and first issue, which is the territorial integrity of the kingdom. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen MPs, Morocco acquired so many assets and consolidated legitimacy within the international framework, efforts that were accumulated throughout 28 years under the rule of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, sparing no effort and also sacrifices and clairvoyance and structural reforms at so many levels at the very heart of this sustained effort and sacrifices. We mentioned the sacrifices of the armed forces in order to prevent any threat from Tangier to El Guira under His Majesty's rule, and also the army. His Majesty allow us to express our gratitude and fidelity to Your August Majesty. And this is a token of pride and this effort of development that is exceptional and sustainable in our southern provinces, and that is being implemented in accordance with the high orientations and follow-up of His Majesty to embody this development model that succeeded in bringing important changes in infrastructures, services and social services in the southern provinces. Ladies and gentlemen, the UN Security vote on the 2797 resolution concerning Moroccan Sahara, it reflects a recognition of historic rights and inalienable rights, and that showcases the sovereignty of Morocco and its southern provinces, and also it is a recognition and a token of trust by the international community in the Moroccan policy based on development in its several dimensions and democracy in its political, social and cultural levels, and openness and clinging to peace and tolerance and coexistence and the respect of the others within the framework of our customs and traditions and laws, and also in terms of the positioning of Morocco at the international level. And Morocco is counting on its institutions and its democratic choices, and it was seconded by reconciliation with history and within the framework of history, and also conciliation with the territory and also the cultural levers. And surely a nation succeeded in all these conciliations and reconciliations, and this is a sine qua non condition in order to rally all the citizens around these causes, including our brothers and sisters in the Tindouf camps. And this is what was reiterated in His Majesty's speech on the 31st October 2025. Talking about conciliations, development and democracy, we are dealing with an orientation geared towards the future with steady steps within the framework of unity and openness on the regional context after this royal vision gave its fruits in terms of continental and Euro-Mediterranean partnerships and even at the international level. Ladies and gentlemen, this historical turning point in terms of territorial integrity in the United Nations as is at the UN community, a token of consolidation of this autonomy plan as the threshold that reflects the leadership of His Majesty and also the strength of positions of the historical and legal traditions on the basis of which His Majesty is managing this issue at the international level, and all those efforts within the framework of a diplomacy doctrine that was founded by His Majesty on the basis of truth, loyalty, collaboration for peace, and also partnership and friendship with a humanitarian dimension and development one. In this milestone, we all need as political components to keep consolidating these institutions and also to overcome all the challenges pertaining to development, rallying around His Majesty. And as much as our institutions are strong and the social, economic and cultural reforms are there, we are consolidating our positioning at the international level and even in terms of politics and diplomacy, including our legislative body. And in this regard, we need to reflect and embody the orientations of His Majesty and are looking forward to the future at the level of challenges. And as His Majesty showcased in the opening of the legislative session when he reiterated the importance of calling upon all the potentials and unleashing them in order to have the territorial and social justice. And this embodies His Majesty's vision to have a real change in terms of the mindset and the modus operandi in order to bring this deep change. And at the very heart of all those efforts, we need from our position to keep working with the international and diplomacy relations and parliamentary work in terms of preemptive action, anticipation, and keeping in mind the spirit of His Majesty's speech that was addressed to the nation at the occasion of this historic turning point at the level of the UN Security Council. In parallel with all those efforts, we need to keep working on other issues that are still open at our initiative or within a collective framework within the parliamentary, the African and Euro-Mediterranean groups, and also at the level of the two Americas, in order to keep up with this His Majesty's initiative at the service of growth and flourishment, and also contributing to the national efforts in order to overcome all the challenges that are ahead of us, and also to entrench our territorial integrity principles. And we need, as we have always done, and we are working at this level to apply ourselves with the speeches and the orientations of His Majesty, and also to consolidate all our assets in this regard in order to keep going towards the future with steadiness. And these are aspects that have always been at the very heart of our successes and transitions in our country within the framework of stability and the constitutional kingdom, a parliamentary one, and also the social one. Thank you very much.
In the name of Allah.
بسم الله الرحمن
In the name of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate, and prayer and peace upon Prophet Muhammad and his kith and his kin. Mr. Speaker of the House of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members of Parliament, honorable councillors, thanks to God and praise be to God that has shown us victory for a nation that has believed in its justice and which has made belief in the nation as a faith and defending its territorial unity as a commitment. And we are now continuing with this graceful march, our meeting in the House of Parliament in a historical meeting. We receive a new era that has been carried by international justice and the equity and recognition that have been long in waiting to consecrate the right of Morocco in his territorial integrity and sovereignty. It's an occasion for us to extend our sincere congratulations to His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God assist him and all the members of the Moroccan people for this new victory for a unified Morocco. So the decision of the Security Council number 9/2797 to constitute the fruit of a 50-year struggle and diplomatic work in defense of the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of the kingdom. From the Green March to this very important date, Morocco, position has always been constant that Morocco is in his Sahara and the Sahara is in Morocco. So Morocco has went with steady steps to confirm that our southern provinces is not just a piece of geography but a national spirit that is haunted by the allegiance and memory. A march that is crowned today with new victory as His Majesty the King has characterized it within an agreed upon solutions under the sovereignty of Morocco. So the symbolism of this era wanted that this international movement and the corresponding 50-year anniversary of the Green March. This comes to show and consecrate the Moroccan national sovereignty, and also it consecrates stability and peace in our national and international context. Ladies and gentlemen, the latest national decision came to reflect the convictions of the international community that the solution in the Moroccan Sahara can only be within the complete full Moroccan sovereignty and through the initiative of the autonomy plan that Morocco has presented in 2007, and today it has become, thanks to the wise stewardship of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, and it has become also an international reference and as a driving force for regional and local stability. And if the nations have convened at the Security Council to consecrate this decision, history sees that this international position has been consecrated for the benefit of Morocco, and it has been voted in by most of the members of the United Nations that have confirmed the justice of our national cause and the wise leadership of His Majesty the King. Ladies and gentlemen, that is in front of this new era in this national cause. A new page has turned that is all in continuity of a diplomatic march that has been consecrated by the clear and perceptive vision of His Majesty the King, as it has been shown in his speech on the 24th anniversary of the Green March, when he set up the foundations to treat the Sahara cause. And since that date, His Majesty has led constant strategic diplomatic work that has been stable and that is relied on the justice of our cause, the purpose of which is to consecrate the position of the nation, and that has translated the Moroccan position in international convictions, and this has become a constitutional reality in the international legitimacy. It reflects its strategic partnership at the international scene. This new international change wouldn't stop only at consecration of the Moroccan national sovereignty, but goes beyond it to the consecration of the spirit and the environment of peace, as it is considered of a natural extension for stability in the region, and this opens for all of us new horizons for collaboration, as His Majesty the King has confirmed. This is not a victory of one party against another, but for the consecration of a national choice that protects the dignity of everybody and that consolidates the values of peace and common values. And I would like to open here brackets to express what I feel in terms of feelings that I cannot overcome as one person of the children of the Moroccan Sahara, that their consciousness has been constituted on the values, national values, and the Green March and its oath, as it carries meanings for the throne and for allegiance to the throne. And now, as we live this historical moment with our heart full of our belonging before responsibility, and that most of what has been achieved in development in our southern province, thanks to the perceptive vision of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. It's a deep transformation and change that has led the man and space. These places have been facing challenges for many decades, but now it has become a space that creates a lot of opportunities. And when we see the children of the Sahara living this peace of mind and dignity within the national sovereignty, we can only look forward to the moment when our brothers in the kingdom come, that when they will join the mother nations, which will consolidate stability and dignity and development and justice, justice for all. Everything that has been achieved, ladies and gentlemen, is a long-standing fruit of agreement and for cohesion, internal cohesion that has been personified by the sacrifices of everybody, and at the helm of which our children from the southern provinces and the shuyukh of the tribes and all the stakeholders that have carried on their shoulders the message of defending the territorial integrity inside and outside, and have made of their intense political participation and their presence inside the institutions and in the battle for development and construction, have expressed the justice of Moroccan cause. The international decision about the Moroccan Sahara doesn't constitute an end of the road, but the beginning of a new era for the whole region, and would constitute for a stage of collaboration and complementarity that look forward to a horizon of unity and common development. Today, we are before a historical, real opportunity to bring back the spirit of the Maghreb Union as a collective project for development, which will bring to the area its place in its international context. And history has taught us that people who turn their backs to the future will be losing opportunities for progress and development. So let's seize this historical moment to build the region and to reflect the ambitions of the people of the region in this region. And in this is personified the perceptive vision of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, my goddess system, which has made of the southern regions as a link for union and integration through big projects, and which make of this a trusty a trusted partner in the building of Africa that is solidarity-based, that enjoys peace and development within this political momentum which the Moroccan Sahara has known. We need to confirm that the decision of the Security Council is not just one phase for the consecration of the Moroccan sovereignty, but it's a crowning of our collective national work, and also work in terms of real real achievements and realization, which is consolidating every day with new realizations and with indicators that confirm and support the national sovereignty and solidarity. And we are proud of this international decision that has renewed our determination, all of us, to go forward in this spirit of building this. What that has been achieved wouldn't have been achieved and reached this position that His Majesty King Mohammed VI enjoys, and for also the respect that he knows in the international venues and regions, and Moroccan's name is linked with the country of stability and peace and development. And this is and also this extension of this distinguished march. And here in the Moroccan diplomacy has shown as a continuous, sustainable choice that has won the respect of its partners through the clearness of its visions and the solidarity of its positions. And from this appears all the other diplomatic inclinations, as it is a natural extension of other marches. Our responsibility today as members of parliament representing the nations is to continue our work with determination to develop the parliamentarian diplomatic act in all of its dimensions, economic, social, and political, and to consolidate its presence in different venues in terms of parliament, national and international, all in defense of the interests of Morocco. This imposes on us that we would translate this political momentum into an institutional act, a renewable act that opens before us or before the southern regions new horizons, all in consecration with for the trust that His Majesty the King puts in the parliamentarian institution, and to consolidate also the leadership role that it plays. And we will see to it to continue, God willing, working with the same national spirit within the royal orientation, so that the Sahara cause will remain a title of national unity for perceptive diplomacy and the development that makes a very national step, a step for a promising future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I give the floor to the parties and MPs. The National Rally of Harmatullah, you have 5 minutes. RNI Party, RNI. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, and peace be on His Prophet, Mr. President of the House of Representatives, the President of the House of Councillors, dear MPs, I'm honored and delighted to speak before you on behalf of the National Rally of Independence and belonging to the southern provinces and one of the legitimate representatives within this institution, this legislative institution. Allow me in this regard to speak not only as a politician, but also as somebody who witnessed the changes from tents and sands to a real space for development and stability. Ladies and gentlemen, the last resolution of the Security Council was an historic moment that reiterated that the Sahara is Moroccan and that the realistic and credible and just solution is the autonomy plan under the Moroccan sovereignty. And this was not just random, but it was the fruit of continuous diplomatic efforts under the leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, with wisdom entrenched through diplomacy and out of conviction, based on dialogue and also on construction instead of race. The King's diplomacy made of Morocco the voice of wisdom in a world that is uncertain, and also the voice of trust in a region that needs balance. Since 26 years, Morocco is walking steadily, building internally and consolidating its place at the international arena. His Majesty King Mohammed VI mentioned in his last speech the parliamentarian diplomacy in order to affirm that the national defense of the pillars and issues is a matter that requires the collaborative action of all institutions. And this means that the parliament and the parties and all the actors need to be more mobilized and to work seriously within the framework of advocacy and defense of the national question or issue with one voice. And we all together, ladies and gentlemen, we start the excerpts from His Majesty's address to our brothers in the Tindouf camps to rally the modern nation. This was a very deep humanitarian moment that translates this beautiful aspect of Morocco that opens doors and does never close doors. And this was coming from a leader who believes in the fact that the nation is built by its citizens. At the same time, His Majesty King Mohammed VI sent a call to Algeria in order to open a new chapter in which dialogue and good neighboring is the currency, because Morocco is not building its success on the weaknesses of somebody, but on the strength of the region as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, dear MPs, I am from the southern provinces, from Sahara, and I know people, and I saw in their eyes how they love their nation and how they cling to the throne and how they are linked with the king by all and strong relations, especially in the aftermath of the resolution. They were very delighted and happy, not only because of the issuance of the resolution, but also because of the nation that succeeded and showcased the truth to the whole world. And allow me to say that this just UN resolution is an historic opportunity for all the stakeholders in order to come to a consensus within a framework of no winners and no losers, and saving the face of all the parties, as it was demonstrated in His Majesty's last speech, in order to be able to build a future in the Maghreb region with more development and good neighboring and coexistence in peace in this regional context. And as the Almighty mentioned, meaning, if the Lord helps you, nobody can defeat you.
Thank you. The floor is the Authenticity and Modernity team, Mr. Ahmed Twizi. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate, and prayer be upon the Prophet, Mr. Speaker of the House, Mr. Honorable President of the House of Councillors, dear members of Parliament and of the House of Councillors, we in our team of modernity and authenticity feel deeply and proudly of the content of the speech addressed by His Majesty King Mohammed VI, my God, the sitting that was addressed to the nations on Friday evening on the 31st of October 2025 in the light of the Security Council's decision that supports the sovereignty of Morocco over its Sahara. It's a dear opportunity for us that has lightened the hearts of the king and the hearts of Moroccans that have filled the streets of the kingdom in celebration, and that they will stay consecrated and deeply engraved in the memory of Moroccan men and women as if it were just yesterday, after half a century of the Green March and after the independence of Morocco. It's an occasion also to congratulate the leader of the nation with this historical achievement, this great achievement that has come as fruit of his great efforts for the final turning over of the page of this conflict, and for the whole of the Moroccan nations, bringing to mind the spirit of His Majesty the King, the late Hassan II, the conceiver of the Green March that has surprised everybody across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the historical address of His Majesty the King last Friday is as a roadmap, a clear roadmap for a clear and bright future that would make of the Moroccan Sahara as a pole for development and also as a place for economic development that would open up on its environment, including the Sahara and the environment surrounding the speech of His Majesty the King is addressed in all sincerity to our friends in the camps of Tindouf to follow in footsteps and to join a Moroccan that is strong and unified on the basis that there is no difference from the people coming from Tindouf and their brothers living in the Moroccan soil. What has been decided upon under the supervision of His Majesty the King, and which is crowned of unprecedented decision of the Security Council. This has come as a result of wise and perceptive planning for His Majesty, from His Majesty. His Majesty has made of the southern provinces as an open work site for development. It would be enough to remind us in this regard for the construction of the port of Dakhla and also for the construction of the speed road between the southern provinces and the northern part of the nation, and also for the construction of desalinization stations, and this would make of our provinces a new development strategy for all the provinces of Morocco. This is considered as a wonderful fruit from the fruit of institutional stability that the Moroccans enjoy under the leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. His Majesty the King has continued in the footsteps of his late father for the development of a modern Morocco that is strong and diverse in geopolitical and international contexts. His Majesty the King has made of our country over 26 years of his enthronement as a beacon for peace and security and safety and stability, and also for a place of comprehensive development from the north to the south and from the east to the west, and also for a safe place for the convening of international meetings. And this was no surprise for us when our country has been honored with the organization of the World Championships of football. This a manifestation of this place, honorable place among the nations of the world, that is of a country that has its roots strike deep in the history of humanity. In conclusion, we would like to confirm once again as a that we are soldiers behind the leader of the nation. May God assist him with the steady steps to translate the last historical decisions and the decision of the Security Council on the ground, and it requires in terms of comprehensive mobilization for the updating of the Moroccan proposal and for the continuation for comprehensive development for a unified nations, as it is a choice that would never be revoked. So the decision would never be in any ways a country that is new with a new orientation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Moulay Hamdi Wold Rashid.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, and peace be on His Prophet, Mr. President of the House of Councillors and House of Representatives, dear MPs, honorable councillors, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a very special day. I'm honored to speak on behalf of two groups of unity. وحدة وتعادلية, this party. Unity and joint action. So this is a very special day. Let's say it is an historic moment, the 31st of October, in which the UN Security Council issued the resolution on the Moroccan Sahara, and that was followed, or during the same day, the same evening, there was a royal speech, and after the Green March, this is the second milestone of the same caliber, and His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, he has always said and reiterated that territorial integrity is something that cannot be touched and cannot be discussed. And this is how we understood throughout years that territorial integrity for the Kingdom of Morocco is something that cannot be discussed, and this is a real success. And His Majesty's speech was very special, because usually people who win, they feel some kind of special passion, and this is how people usually feel. But this mobilized the whole Moroccan people. I have never seen such mobilization of the whole Morocco. Parties, opposition, majority, we were all united. The whole Kingdom of Morocco rallied around His Majesty's autonomy plan, and this is very important for us as Moroccans, and also for me as a person representing this region. What we've been working on for 50 years became reality today. So now we reach this stage, and as I said, this was the roadmap, and this is how we have all worked to reach this moment through our ancestors. And all people from the southern provinces, they are faithful and loyal to His Majesty. And even our brothers and sisters in Tindouf camps, they are Moroccans. Let's see the truth, and let's say it bluntly. His Majesty King Mohammed VI, through His Majesty's leadership and wise diplomacy said that our brothers, he did not say the Polisario Front, in Tindouf, they need to rally their motherland and just to take the realms of their daily issues. This was in His Majesty's speech. It was not a random one. It was very deep indeed. And of course, with this resolution that was voted for by 11 and 3 abstention, and only one party decided not to vote. I saw a stage that was not there anymore. It used to be there, and then it disappeared. I do not even know what is the state. And then His Majesty extended his hand to everybody. And he's dealing with Algeria as a sister nation. And His Majesty talked about His Excellency President Tebboune extending a hand. And we are calling on our brothers and our cousins to rally and come back to their motherland, and with all the respect due to our neighbor Algeria. And we congratulate His Majesty and the Moroccan people for this success, and we are all ready to work day and night with all the components and constituents of the country, and we congratulate all the parties for supporting the autonomy plan. This is very important. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. Now we give the respectful Sadiq Moussaoui.
تفضل. شكرا. تفضل. تفضل سيدي.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سيدان الرئيسان المحترمان، سيدات البرلمانيات المحترمات، السادة البرلمانيون المحترمون.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of parliament and councillors, in 1958, at the beginning of the independence of our country, His Majesty Mohammed VI, my God, rest his soul, during the reception of Hamid al-Ghazlan Sahrawi tribes, said that we will continue our work to recover the other provinces. This is and thanks to history and to the will of the populations. Hence, we respect the trust that has been placed in us by tribes. In 1975, the late Mohammed VI has said, "Dear people, tomorrow borders will be crossed. Tomorrow the Green March will take place, and then you are going to walk over a land that belongs to you, a sand that is yours, and you will embrace a land that is part of our land." In 2014, it was declared in His Majesty Mohammed VI, my God assist him, and said that Morocco remains in his Sahara, and the Sahara will remain in its Morocco until the end of time. In 2024, His Majesty Mohammed VI, that God assist him, affirmed, I have affirmed that since I have become king, that we will go. Concerning the question of the management to changes and transformation of the in reaction to the initiative that is firmness and anticipation. In 2025, His Majesty King Mohammed VI, in his address, said that we are living a historical turnabout in modern history of Morocco. That is before 21st of October 25, and the Moroccan after that date, a Moroccan unified from Tangier to La Guira has come to see the day, and nobody would violate its rights and its territorial unification. End of His Majesty's quotation. It's a caravan that has been led by 3 kings to defend the territorial integrity of the country, and that His Majesty Mohammed VI has crowned this one of the national and patriotic movement. The deepest ones where the 2 socialist groups expressed their joy with the Moroccan people, collective joy from Tangier to La Guira, in a patriotic expression for the consolidation of the territorial integrity of Morocco, while expressing our recognition of all sacrifices of all categories and segments of Moroccan society under the stewardship and leadership of His Majesty the King. We consider the 31st of October as a historical moment that is equal to the independence of Morocco, and the resolution 2797 is a great exploit that renews to the Moroccan nation its spirit, patriotic spirit, under the leadership of His Majesty the King. A resolution that consolidates a historical right, a sovereign right, a legitimate right at that the country, for which the country has sacrificed and has made great sacrifices and has given great lessons to all the people of the land. We in the socialist group, given the fact that being the representative of the Popular Forces Union party that has participated in the liberation of the country, hence we express our joy and our pride for concerning Resolution 2729 to 97 by enlighten us with the content of His Majesty's address. We extend our hand to our Algerian brothers, and we call our brothers in the camps of Tindouf to join the mother country. And above all, after the resolution 2797, we are proud we as parliamentarians, we express our firm will to go forward to work for the consolidation of our territorial integrity. On this occasion, we express our heartfelt thanks to the country's brothers and friends that have supported our cause. We salute the martyrs of the Royal Armed Forces for their defending our security, and all the auxiliary forces, and congratulations to the Moroccan nation, and congratulations to His Majesty the King, symbol of the Moroccan territorial integrity and Moroccan union. Thank you. Mr. Ouzine, the Haraki Movement Group.
In the name of Allah's most gracious, Mr. President of the House of Representatives, of Councillors, Honourable MPs, with great pride on behalf of the 2 Haraki movements, parties, and I'm here in this historic moment, and that is a turning point in our diplomatic track and historic moment in which we went beyond the separation and in which the UN resolution brought half a century of pain and sorrows and waste of time and put this behind us and concern the territorial integrity. And that was decided upon by history and geography and through the sacred relationship between the throne and the citizens, and a moment that should be cherished and also to pay tribute to the soul of late Muhammad V, His Majesty, late Majesty Muhammad V. This is a moment in which we need to venerate this pure soul of late King Hassan II, the architect of the Green March. This is a turning point and historic one that calls upon us to contemplate and stop and express our gratitude to the leader of this nation and protector of our country and leader of the growth, His Majesty Muhammad VI, thanks to His Majesty's vision of diplomacy and growth that we could reach this very moment within the framework of a great nation, which is that of Morocco, and we are proud of belonging to this state. This is an historic moment indeed in the history of Morocco, and we do appreciate the depth of this moment. All Moroccans are loyal to their nation and king, as it was demonstrated and illustrated by the demonstrations of all the citizens who took on the street to express their support to this resolution, and also the families who lost their lives just defending this territory, and others who were even tortured, and there are others who were waiting for this historic moment. We're talking about 35 Moroccan citizens, among whom the dead and the living, who express their love to the nation. A moment also in which we need to pay tribute to the armed forces and security forces and auxiliary forces and all those who protect our country. And we need to express our esteem and all the children of the southern provinces, the Moroccan Sahara, who have been loyal to the territorial integrity, and for all of whom I'm calling upon you to express your gratitude and to venerate their sacrifices. Indeed, it is an historic moment in order to call on our brothers and sisters Sahrawi just to come back to their modern nation. This gate to the Atlantic, and also the trigger of continental integrity, and His Majesty accustomed us to opt for pardon instead of punishment, and this is among the characteristics of great leaders in its deepest truth. And His Majesty said Moroccans are from us and they will come back to us. Welcome to your country. This issue is not built on the principle of winners and losers. There is only a brotherhood and history that brings 37 million of Moroccans who are lending their hand and opening their arms just to embrace their brothers and sisters, Sahrawi brothers and sisters. And today His Majesty is calling us, and I'm also representing the group to call upon our brothers and sisters to come back to their nation with all dignity and pride. And also, I also seize this opportunity to renew the invitation to our neighbors in Algeria to seize the opportunity of this extended hand in order to have a joint triumph and victory and avoid fragmentation that impedes growth in our nation, and that will serve the interests of the coming generation with a decent life. This is real brotherhood that we are aspiring at. It is deeply entrenched in our hearts and in our existence. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you.
Floor now to the Democratic Socialist Constitutional Party, and Mr. Bilal Shawi is going to deliver its address. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate. Ladies and gentlemen, members, respectable members of Parliament and House of Councillors, I'm honored to take the floor on behalf of the Socialist Democratic Party and its group at the Ministry, at the Parliament and the House of Councillors, beginning by addressing the expressions of congratulations to His Majesty King Mohammed VI and the Moroccans on the occasion of the issuance of the United Nations Historical Decision 2797 on the 31st of October 2025. The Security Council, which consecrates the sovereignty of Morocco over its desert, thereby putting an end to 50 years of conflicts and obstacles against all of our rights, and for the continuation of our territorial integrity. This decision 2797 is an interruption between it and the other decisions. It has come within a model, a royal approach that constitutes as a current for successful diplomacy and also a driving force that is built on ambition and clear clarity, that is a legitimate ambition to achieve complete national unity in accordance with a realistic architecture, clear in its style and language and its strategic horizon, and in accordance with the very well-studied steps that is built on ground acts and on results, and also on the respect of positions that have lasted over 2 decades of national construction, and also for the unraveling of diplomatic problems through 50 years of manipulations and dreams and falsification of reality, which didn't last eventually in front of diplomacy, soft diplomacy that has been led by His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God assist him, all in defense of the rights of our country and the defense of our southern provinces with its soil, its inhabitants, and its environment. Ladies and gentlemen, members of Parliament, it's of our right and our pride to bring to mind on this happy occasion the Green March epic that has been organized by His Majesty King Hassan II. My God rest his soul, with his people 50 years ago, and with all pride and joy we bring to mind today the second march that has been led by His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God assist him with wisdom and soft diplomacy that is built on firmness and clarity to achieve this march that is consolidated with the great management and advocacy by parliaments and political party and civil society, a wide mobilization for the initiative of autonomy plan, and also as a base for a solution that is accepted for this conflict. In conclusion, and in front of this great victory, and we stand all in respect to what His Majesty the King has expressed in terms of the nobleness of positions vis-à-vis our brothers who are taken hostages in terms of calling for brotherly dialogue without any victor or any defeated person to join their brothers in our southern provinces in response with the royal call, and also the United Nations decision to contribute to the building of autonomy plan and for its for the construction of 50 years of building, all in reparation of 50 years of loss, and also for the participation and brotherly interaction with the joy that has taken all of Morocco by surprise, and where all the people have taken to the street to celebrate this decision. And hence, this is the launching of the beginning of the modern Morocco, as it has been confirmed by His Majesty the King in his last decision, that there is before 31st of October 25 and there is what comes after. So the right has been justified, and peace be upon you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I give the floor to Progress and Socialism Group, Mr. Rashid Hamouni.
السيد رئيس مجلس
Mr. President, the House of Representatives, the House of Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Moroccan Parliament. This is a historic moment that will remain deeply entrenched in the history of Moroccan glory. His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, shared this glory with the nation through His Majesty's historic speech, and it will be deeply carved in our memory. This is an historic moment, a turning point in the experience of the Moroccan people in order to consolidate its territorial integrity. This moment that deserves celebration and joy, because this is a deep change. This is a moment of justice and prevalence of truth. This was a turning point through the UN Resolution 2797 that portrayed that the only solution is the autonomy plan under Moroccan sovereignty. On this occasion, first and foremost, within the group of Socialism and Progress, we would like to congratulate His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, for this wonderful accomplishment that will remain eternal in the books of history, along with the Green March that was a masterpiece of late King Hassan II, and that we will celebrate very shortly. And this is the continuity also of His late Majesty's work, Mohammed V. And since the accession of His Majesty to the throne, His Majesty led all the actions with wisdom, strength, and tranquility. And he has always defended the legitimacy and historical facts that the Sahara is Moroccan and will remain so until the end of days. This is how Morocco changed balance since the Moroccan initiative in 2007, and we moved from the phase of management to the phase of change with the recognition of the Sahara, showcasing the credibility of the proposal or the autonomy plan at the international level, which illustrates that the international direction defended the right of Morocco in terms of territorial integrity. And for this reason, I would like to thank all the sister nations that helped our country to consolidate its territorial integrity. And let us remember the reiteration of His Majesty that the Sahara issue is the lens through which Morocco is looking at the world, the only criterion through which Morocco is assessing the truth of relations and partnership with other nations. And on this occasion, our group is congratulating all Moroccan people who sacrificed and worked relentlessly in order to consolidate our territorial integrity, and also all representatives of the nation within the parliamentarian diplomacy and all actors who have been very active in terms of parallel diplomacy. And let us congratulate and also highlights the role by all security forces and gendarmerie, police, etc., and all the security forces under the high leadership of His Majesty in order to defend the interests of the nation and to ensure its protection. Today, we are before a new chapter of modern and contemporary Morocco. We are all ready to welcome our brothers and sisters from Tindouf and also to contribute in building the future of our southern provinces within the framework of one and single Morocco, a new chapter in which we are hoping that our brothers and sisters from Algeria will listen to the voice of wisdom in order to work together hand in hand and overcome all the disputes and tensions on the basis of respect, collaboration, brotherly and good neighboring, in order to relaunch also the United Maghreb Arab Union and also to have or to work on this autonomy proposal, because this is a new era that requires consolidating all the internal fronts, the democratic social fronts, to build and work together in order to overcome all the challenges and also implement it in the field. Thank you.
The floor is to the General Union of Moroccan Workers. Mr. Abdel Mustaqim will deliver their address. Mr. President of the House of Parliament, Mr. President of the House of Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, members of both chambers of Parliament. We are standing here today at a historical moment, a turning point in the building of our unity. It's a moment of truth. And yes, the truth that has our country has always been reiterating to the world for over 50 years and ever before that. And today, and thank God, we are here reaping the fruits of the alliance behind His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God assist him to defend the sovereignty of Morocco over the Sahara. After the recognition of the Moroccanity of the Sahara and their support of autonomy plan, it is the United Nations that some have always wanted to make of it a place of violation of our legitimacy of our presence in our Sahara. This is the United Nations today, and through the Security Council has arrived at this reality and has expressed it to the world in its decision So there is no conflict to there is no solution to this conflict except the autonomy plan within the sovereignty of Morocco. We congratulate His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, who is the conceptor and creator of this historical result, who has always been working to convince countries of the world of the justice of the Moroccan position. In this historical moment, at this turning point in the history of our first national cause, we renew our mobilization behind His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God assist him to continue to accompany the new transformations. Ladies and gentlemen, His Majesty King's speech has summarized, which he has delivered after the issuance of the United Nations decisions, has said everything that needs to be said. It's a historical speech of big leaders in the world who lay down the basis of development and peace for their people and the people in the region. This address will remain an address of victory. It will remain engraved in the national memory because it constitutes the referential context to deal with the turning over of the leaf of this conflict. The decision of the Security Council has constituted a new transformation, a new change in the solution of this conflict, and it is also a support of the United Nations to our democratic experience that is overseen by His Majesty the King, and also an acceptance of all the transformation that our country has known in the era of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God assist him. We hope that our brothers will receive the signs and the calls of His Majesty the King for dialogue and for the building of the Maghreb Union, which will create opportunities for the people of the region to create development. Morocco sees in this decision not only as a victory for its historical rights, but it sees in it an opportunity to look forward for a unified Maghrebi horizon. This moment is the result of great sacrifice that all of Morocco has shown, and we reiterate the call of His Majesty the King to our brothers in the camps of Tinder to regain their country, Morocco, and to contribute in the development, renaissance and development under the leadership of His Majesty the King. And we'd like to thank our brothers and our friends for their noble position that has supported the Moroccan position. We are all proud of the great sacrifices that the Royal Armed Forces and the Gendarmerie and the police forces and under the leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI in defending the territorial integrity of the nations. And in conclusion, we renew our congratulations to His Majesty the King Mohammed VI and all the components of the Moroccan people for this great victory. Thank you. The floor is the General Union for Moroccan Businesses.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Allah, most merciful, most compassionate, and peace and prayer be upon the Prophet. Mr. President of the House of Parliament, Mr. President of the House of Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, members of Parliament, I am very happy to take the floor on behalf of the General Union of Moroccan Enterprises in this shared meeting in Parliament concerning the last decision of the Security Council concerning the national cause in this exceptional historical movement in which meets the past, glorious past, and the enlightened present, and in which is crowned our sacrifices with this great victory. At the beginning, we'd like to extend our sincerest congratulations to His Majesty King Mohammed VI, my God, assist him, and all the Moroccan people with this historical decision that comes to crown the wise diplomatic march and the perceptive vision of His Majesty the King in defending the territorial integrity, and also would like to bring to mind His Majesty the late Hassan II, who has supported our cause with this Green March, and thanks to the enlightened leadership of His Majesty the King, our country managed to change this realistic approach to a national and international base, and that has changed this from a regional conflict to a case that won international support. Thanks for this perceptive diplomacy, which has made of the Moroccan Sahara as a perceptive with which we measure the positions, and its belief that legitimacy is an entrenched right that is not given or taken. And the Moroccan right has been have seen victory on the 31st of October at the Security Council, which has recognized that Sahara is in its Morocco and Morocco is in its Sahara, and that there is now other alternative than autonomy solution under Moroccan sovereignty. Ladies and gentlemen, we are before today a crowning of 50-year-long work, and this is a turning point in royal diplomacy through a movement from the stage of defending territorial integrity to a stage of political building about autonomy. This is an approach that has been adopted by our country under the enlightened leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI through anticipation, firmness, and renewal of partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, dear members of parliament, today as we celebrate this historical moment, to bring to mind the importance of the great role of parliamentarian diplomacy role, as it is a fundamental facade and face to defend the territorial integrity in international events. And this is a historical movement that calls upon us, we members of parliament, to continue our efforts and work within this parliamentarian diplomacy that will make of it a great and successful diplomacy. And we bring to mind also the economic diplomacy, as it is a parallel driving force for the diplomatic work in our country, by putting forward economic partnerships and for the consolidation of strategic dimensions in our countries with international economic stakeholders. We in this union of Moroccan enterprises, we bring to mind the royal orientations addressed to economic stakeholders, and we know very well our responsibility and our participation in this work for the development of our southern provinces. On this occasion, we renew our commitment and our mobilization to accompany the developmental dynamic in our province, southern provinces, all in implementation of the vision of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, my God, assist him, and for the encouragement of investments, sustainable investments in the Moroccan Sahara that is considered as a bridge between Europe and Africa, and also for the continuation of international economic stakeholders in order to make of the southern provinces a pole for development and African integrity through powerful projects. Ladies and gentlemen, members of parliament, in conclusion, this great victory is the result of a long march of sacrifice, resistance, and building. And let's all be up to par on this historical movement and work together, hand in hand, each one from his own position, for a powerful developing country under the enlightened stewardship of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. My God, assist him. Thank you. Thank you.
الاتحاد المغربي.
Thank you. We now give the floor to the group of Moroccan Labor Union, UMT. Mr. Suleik. Mr. President of the House of Representatives, Honorable President of House of Councillors, Honorable MPs, I'm really honored to stand here before you on behalf of the Moroccan Labour Union, UMT, at the occasion of this special session in light of the issuance of the historic resolution Friday, 31st October 2025, regarding the Moroccan issue. We followed with much interest and with pride at the level of the UMT, as it is the case of all Moroccans and all Moroccan constituents. What occurred within the Security Council and the vote on the UN resolution illustrating the territorial integrity of Morocco and the autonomy plan and the Moroccan sovereignty in order to put an end to this dispute that lasted long. This showcases the international legitimacy and recognition of the justice of the Moroccan plan, credible and serious, to ensure stability and development in the region that has a strategic positioning and also geostrategic place. And it is in this regard we would like to congratulate His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God bless him and assist him, and also to the parallel diplomacy and to the Moroccan people for this triumph that consolidates the Moroccan sovereignty over the southern provinces. And this is a turning point in the political process, and our country opted for the solution that is wise, calling for peace and dialogue and serene diplomacy. This is a pride for the working class in Morocco for this historical achievement and this turning point in order to put an end to this long-lasting dispute. And also this is a moment to illustrate the strength of the Moroccan position that drives its force from its legitimacy, from the unity of its people and its constituents, and also it crowns a diplomatic track of high level under the leadership of His Majesty through his enlightened vision and through parallel diplomacy and union diplomacy, through which the family of UMT spared no effort in all fora and conferences to defend our national cause, at the top of which the Saharan issues from all stakeholders. And this was a qualitative accumulation of efforts and sacrifices through 50 years. We seized the opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to the armed forces and all security representatives for their sacrifice and their mobility to serve the country, sparing no effort to protect it. And we are also hailing the content of His Majesty's speech and address, this moment in which His Majesty shared this moment of joy with all Moroccans in Morocco and beyond. This is a moment of glory that coincided with the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Green March that was launched by the Moroccan people in order to regain its southern provinces and to accomplish its process of territorial integrity. And allow me to hail all the efforts that have been done by late Majesty Hassan II. This expresses a political position, but also a conviction and a principle of an ideological identity of workers coming from the struggle, national struggle. And at this occasion, we are calling upon all stakeholders to strengthen social unity and to work for the second phase in order to face all the challenges and to ensure social and economic development. And we call on our brothers and sisters in neighboring countries and the whole region to subscribe fully in order to put an end to this conflict and ensure stability. And allow me to express the readiness of UMT and all the working class to subscribe with all citizenship in order to develop the next phase and to protect our territorial integrity, ensure development and welfare in our country. And thank you very much. Now, I give the floor to the Justice and Development Group, represented by Abdullah Buenu. In the name of Allah most gracious, Mulay Hamdeen, well, as ta'aduliya, as adala, as unity, as development. So it's the same thing. We can compare the two because we are on the same floor. Dear representatives of the House of Councillors, representatives, and dear MPs, I'm really honored and delighted to take the floor before you in this session at the occasion of the Resolution 2797 that reiterated on holding dialogue on the basis of an autonomy plan presented by Morocco in order to achieve a political solution sustainable and acceptable for both parties, as it is the credible and pragmatic solution. At the level of a PJD, we do recognize that this is an historic resolution and the triumph of truth and justice built on the allegiance of the southern provinces with the throne, and also the historical facts and unity, cultural, social unity between all the citizens, and also the crowning of the struggling path in the face of colonialism, and also a rejection of fragmentation and joint work between the Maghreb countries and states. We would like to congratulate His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God bless him, for this historical achievement, and also to our brothers and sisters in southern provinces. And this resolution is the crowning of this path that was launched by His Majesty in 2006, and that was also declared during the same year, and that is based on three main orientations: at the national level, to have the advanced regionalization; at the regional level, to have the region's unity; at the international level, Morocco's commitment to collaboration with the United Nations in order to come to a consensual solution. And this is the fruit of this track and the efforts that have been deployed at the level of diplomacy under the leadership of His Majesty, not only in the southern provinces, but also throughout the country. And this is the diplomatic and political work that was launched by His Majesty directly, and also during the last hours and days, to adopt and vote for the resolution. Allow me to hail this autonomy plan. Although it needed a few details, it was the fruit of participatory approach, and this is a new opportunity to consolidate unity in the Moroccan country, and also unity between the people and the king, which is the permissive condition in order to achieve all those successes and to protect the territorial integrity and to deepen economic and social development. And today we reached a stage of maturity that represents a break with all the practices in the past, and now we are dealing with a phase in which we need to protect the dignity of citizens. This is an historic achievement that will be supported and that brings joy to the hearts of Moroccans, and also through the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Green March, and that will be crowned by pardon to prisoners who took part to protest, social protests, and those people who were not involved in violent actions. As parliamentarians, we need to have initiatives within the general framework of His Majesty's speech in 31st October 2025 in order to consolidate relations between all stakeholders, and we need to define the autonomy plan and to rally all people around this plan, and also to opt for the lenient approach as our prophet advocated. All faithful, our brothers and sisters, and they need to be united, and we need to distance ourselves from the hate speech, and this is the manifestation of what has been called for by His Majesty, who extended the hand and also called on our brothers and sisters in Tindouf to rally their mother nation. And we need to leverage all our institutional system, and we need to have a thematic group, and also to think about the friendship Moroccan-Algerian group, and allow me to mention all the efforts and hail them of late Majesty Hassan II and Mohammed V and all the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the sake of this nation, and all the efforts made by all the security forces for sparing no effort under the high leadership of His Majesty in order to protect this country. And thank you. Thank you very much. Now I give the floor to the General Confederation of Labour in Morocco, the democratic one, Hanan Gersh. Mr. President, House of Representatives, and also the House of Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, dear MPs, I'm really honored on behalf of the Democratic Confederation of Labour to take the floor today and address you in this national moment of high esteem that we all live in the aftermath of the UN resolution concerning our national cause, the Saharan issue. This resolution, ladies and gentlemen, was not random, and it was not just temporary, but this is the fruit of a long process of relentless diplomatic efforts, and also in which all the institutions of the state contributed, and all the Moroccan people contributed to it. It is a people that believes in the justice of this cause, and from Tangier to La Guira, all state and people, throne and people were united in a national mobilization that worked relentlessly to reaffirm that Morocco will not give away any bit of its territory. Allow me to reiterate that the Democratic Confederation of Labour, since its inception in the 1970s, made of territorial integrity an entrenched principle and part of its identity, and it is fighting and struggling for social dignity and also for sovereignty and territorial integrity, out of the belief that social dignity cannot be separated from other aspects, and we cannot have justice without a united nation. that lives in dignity. And for this, thousands of confederations in Laayoune gathered in Laayoune, the heart of the Sahara, during the 4th Congress in 2001 under the slogan Unity and Democracy. This moment was a symbol of the unity of will and also a testimony that the working class in Morocco was and is still being at the forefront of defenders of territorial integrity. The last resolution that gained support for the Moroccan position opens for our Maghreb region new horizons for dialogue and also collaboration and intercomplementarity. And it is an historic opportunity in order to rebuild the Maghreb, to enable it to face all these social and other challenges and to avoid fragmentation. Morocco, out of its deep belief in the justice of its cause, is calling upon wisdom and mutual respect at the service of the region and the welfare of its people. In this regard, the Democratic Confederation of Labour is hailing and proud of this turning point in our national cause, and we congratulate all the Moroccan people and His Majesty and most importantly the social class that has always been at the forefront of the constituents fighting for the protection of this country. We cannot move forward unless we consolidate our unity and to have social justice. Territorial integrity is not just geographical borders and limits, but this is based on identity and common will that requires justice and dignity for citizens to live in a country on equal footing. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are facing a bright turning point. We need to seize it in order to consolidate our territorial integrity and entrench the principles of democracy and social justice and holistic development and territorial development. And allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to reaffirm that the General Confederate of Labour is defending territorial integrity within the framework of a free and driven by solidarity country.
Floor is to Member of Parliament Abdul Latif. Mr. President of the House of Parliament and Mr. President of the House of Councillors, in my turn, I'm honored to take the floor. Mr. President of the House of Parliament and Mr. President of the House of Councillors, I'm honored to talk to you on behalf of the members of Parliament of the Front of Democratic Front. It's a great opportunity that Morocco is living. As we see here, the image of the Green March of Morocco. This renews the old adage that Morocco is in its Sahara and Sahara is its Morocco. And this vote of the Security Council has confirmed the Moroccan position, and this is a decision came as a victory to a royal, clear and perceptive decisions. This is a position led by His Majesty the King Mohammed VI. May God assist him with wisdom and clarity. This is a victory of the wisdom of the King and also the trust of the people, and that the question of the Sahara is not just a question of geography, but it's a question of the identity of a nation. His Majesty King has confirmed that before 31st is not like what comes after 31st of October 2025. Today, after half a century of struggle, Morocco declares that the moment of decision is nearing and that the era of negotiation is over, and in this way, His Majesty the King has addressed a message to the people living in the camps of Tindouf as full Moroccan citizens that they need to go back and join their mother nations. So Morocco has always worked for the territorial union, and territorial union is not different from and separate from the social union. And Morocco doesn't exclude anybody and doesn't leave anybody behind. And we also commend the new call, sincere call that His Majesty the King has addressed to our brothers in Algeria, and extended his hand to him for good neighborhood and for good collaborations for our mutual developments. And we also confirm our commitment to Morocco's defense of the nation, and we confirm our involvement and subscription to this national determination in front of such gains diplomatic. In conclusion, we promise His Majesty the King and the Moroccan people that we would stay with the nation, as we have always believed that the national cause is at the heart of any cause, and that allegiance to the nation is not just a slogan but a behavior and a seriousness. Thank you.
Now to the parliamentary, Lubna Alawi. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, Mr. President of the House of Representatives and the Honorable President of the House of Councillors, dear MPs, I'm really delighted to take the floor today on behalf of the National Confederation of Labour in Morocco within the framework of this general session, a joint one, in order to express our pride of the historic resolution of the UN Security Council that adopted the autonomy plan and the Moroccan sovereignty as a credible, serious solution for this artificial dispute. At this occasion, allow us to renew and reiterate our pride of the place of our nation at the international arena under the leadership of His Majesty Mohammed VI. And this was reflected by the vote of the Security Council, and also allow us to express our pride of His Majesty's speech, in which he called on our brothers and sisters in Tindouf to rally the motherland, hoping that the Algerian leadership would be reactive to His Majesty's invitation in a brotherly communication in order to give a new impetus to the Maghreb Arab Union. This resolution reflects the justice of our national cause and the credibility of the Moroccan position by uniting our ranks and also uniting the throne with the people, and to work on the development projects in the southern provinces that became a model in terms of advanced regionalization, and allow us to hail the efforts made by the Moroccan diplomacy and parliamentary and union diplomacy protecting the national cause, reaffirming our mobilization under the high directions of His Majesty to defend our legitimate causes, and allow us that defending our national interests is in its depth the defense of the dignity of people and access to health services, education, and decent life, and also territorial justice, and allow us to reiterate that we fully trust that His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, who will always take the right initiatives in a timely manner in order to put an end to a few issues that may be used in order to distort the Moroccan image at the international level. And finally, within the framework of the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Green March, we would like to adopt a green card that would allow all the participants in this national epic to take advantage from social services as a consideration from the state. Thank you. Now we give the floor to the MP Fatima Tami.
Mr. President of the House of Parliament and the House of Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, Morocco, with the Moroccan people, have waged a long, protracted war in defense of its territorial integrity, in which it faced external pressure with determination. And today comes the decision of the International Security Council on the Moroccan Sahara as a crowning of a series of positions and sacrifices, and also as a step towards the sovereignty of Morocco over its southern provinces. At the same time, we cannot work anything without building an internal strong front, because gains do not go through only with external wars, but mainly through the internal war to build the state that is democratic and modern, that consecrates the sovereignty of law, and which achieves social and territorial justice, and also for fighting corruption and despotism that constitutes the greatest threat to the unity of any nations. Ladies and gentlemen, territorial integrity and union are the real one, is not separate from the union of the people and their unification around a democratic progressive project that is built on freedom, dignity and equality. From this point, we call for a political openness that would bring trust to the political act and institutions through the launching of the release of all prisoners, and to open a real, sincere national dialogue on reforms, social, economic, and political reforms, because the gains, this international gain, cannot be complete without any internal democracy that is strong and complete. And we address a national call, a sincere one, to all the Moroccans that have been led astray with the separatists' case to come back to Morocco and to contribute to the building of Morocco and to the building of social democracy. In the same context, we confirm that the fight for a democratic Morocco is not separate from the fight for the building of a great unified Maghreb. That's why we renew our call to a Moroccan-Algerian dialogue that is responsible, constructive, that would go beyond the logic of cooperations to a Maghreb that is built on justice for the people of the region. So defending the Sahara for us at the Federation of Democratic Left is not only a question of borders, but it's a question of a national democratic project, the project of a fair and strong state that will bring together all of its men and women on the values of freedom, equality, and solidarity. Thank you.
تفضل السيد النائب.
Honorable MP Nabila Munib, you have the floor.
السلام عليكم.
Greetings, dear President of the House of Representatives, Honorable President of the House of Councillors, and dear members of the two chambers, on behalf of the Unified Social Party, who are receiving with much interest the UN Resolution 2797 on the 31st October 2025. This important resolution sets the base of a turning point in the process of finding a solution in the artificial dispute, in which it was clearly stated that the solution will be within the framework of the Moroccan autonomy plan in total respect of the Moroccan sovereignty, putting an end to an artificial thesis of self-determination that aimed our country since Ecoviam conspiracy in the Cold War in order to create a rogue state in the south of Morocco, but impeding the construction of the Greater Maghreb Union, and also the extension of the mission of MINURSO for 1 year, and the reiteration of the importance of proposing a fully fledged autonomy plan as the basis of the next dialogues, in which the stakeholders have been identified, which gives us the opportunity to be ready to win the next phases in order to regain our territorial integrity, and also to unify our ranks and avoid all fragmentation, to avoid weakness and all obstacles to the development and the sacrifices that have been made by all martyrs, and also to consolidate our dealings with our brothers and friends. We need to take into account the uncertain international context and regional one, especially. We need to mention the genocide in Palestine, and although there are so many changes, this state, a new state, that will have a new balance of power, but we need to be wary. And now the management of the Sahara, we need to move beyond the strategic interests that put us facing higher challenges in order to protect our country with democracy, and also to have strategic vision for the next phase by involving the political and scientific stakeholders, and to have the Greater Maghreb Union, and to have the internal peace and protect dignity, and to have the pardon policy in order to free all political opinions prisoners, and also to extend our hand to Algeria. And this is a fundamental project that ensures sustainable autonomy, giving the priority for the most vulnerable places, and to keep up on the same pace, and to have a new social contract between the state and society, and put all the foundations for democracy, and to put an end to favoritism, and to continue foreign relations at the regional and African levels. Sahara is Moroccan and will remain so, and Palestine is Arab and will remain so. Thank you very much. If you allow me, I will be just reading the allegiance text to His Majesty at the occasion of holding this joint session between the two chambers of the Parliament.
In the name of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate, and prayer and peace be upon the Prophet, his kith and his kin. Your Majesty, King Mohammed VI, my God, assist you. Peace be with you. Afterwards, we are honored, and as the presidents of the House of Parliament and House of Councillors, to present to you on their behalf and on behalf of all the members of both chambers of Parliament, to present to you the sincerest expressions of faithfulness and sincerity, asking God that He would lead your steps to the right path, and crown your steps with victory and success. So, members of your Parliament, in meeting today, after the Security Council's meeting and decisions, and we express to you our recognition for your determination and for your clear vision, and also in personifications of the distinguished positions that your kingdom has at the international level. We seize this opportunity, this historical opportunity, to confirm their determination to continue their mobilization and their subscription in what you plan for your majesty for the future of your people, bringing to mind your orientations, and the last of which was your historical speech, following the last decision of the Security Council concerning our national cause. May God protect you, Majesty, and also may God protect the Crown Prince Moulay Hassan, and also may God protect Prince Moulay Rashid and all the princes and princesses and members of the Sharifian royal family, and peace be with you and your servant Rashid Talbi Al-Alami, President of the Member of Parliament, and issued in Rabat on the 30th of November 2025. Thank you.